Authorities now charging dozens of wealthy parents with bribery and fraud for allegedly buying their children admission to elite colleges and universities. Among those named, TV actresses Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin. The FBI breaking that case yesterday during our program after what's considered to be a massive nationwide investigation.
Make no mistake, this is not a case where parents were acting in the best interests of their children. This is a case where they flaunted their wealth, sparing no expense, to cheat the system so they could set their children up for success with the best education money could buy, literally.
Straight to our headliner now, Dr. William Bennett, former Secretary of Education, host of The Wise Guys on Fox Nation, and a Fox News contributor. Twice in 2 weeks. It's great to have you back, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
To be here.
One of the main points you're making here,
Sure.
Bill, is how much interest this story has captured. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, even bigger than the Odell Beckham story, Bill, at least to me. I think to you as well.
Yes.
But seriously, the most interesting thing about the story is the interest it's generating, how big it is, how much this matters to the American people. And, you know, you step back and wonder why, because people know in their hearts that people who have resources have advantages. That's what resources means. You have advantages. So in the case of their kids, they can move if the public schools aren't good to an area where the schools are good, or they can buy a private school education, tutors, summer programs to enrich that resume. But I think what shocked people here was the outright fraud, the cheating, the degree to which people will go to advance their children's interest. And that's rigging the system, and the American people react viscerally to that, and they're correct to react viscerally to that. It's a terrible thing.
Bill, you just wonder if it's the tip of the iceberg. I mean, even when the FBI and IRS at the U.S. Attorney's Office made this announcement yesterday, they said they are still looking into other parents who have done this, other coaches and universities that this does affect.
Yeah, well, you've got the Hollywood dimension, which I think helps with the headlines, but you've also got some CEOs, some very established people who were involved in this. And again, remember, you know, I was Secretary of Education. I did a radio show. I do a podcast now. The thing I get calls from and notes from the most is from parents seeking advice about their kid's college. You know, what would you advise? Where should she go? Where should he apply? This matters to people because to Americans, college is that way up. It's the way to upward mobility, to succeed. And to think that the system is being gamed to this degree, I think really shocks and disturbs people.
Yeah, well,
now, I got to say, based on the
ahead.
evidence, well, I was just going to say, based on the evidence, and I think I know this pretty well, it's not the most important choice or most important factor in a person's success. That has to do more with the person's ability. The SAT scores are a better predictor of where you'll end up in life, frankly, and a lot of people don't like to hear that, than where you go to college. But also factors of grit and determination, your ability to, you know, to set a task for yourself. These are more important. But a fact is a fact, and the fact is Americans care deeply about where their kids go to school.
One thing that strikes me is that this world is faux for so many, and you can make it so based on technology. I mean, there are reports that some of these headshots were photoshopped onto the body of other young athletes, and they would use that in order to make the pitch that they should be on the rowing team or whichever avenue they chose. And it you think a lot about the millennial generation and the technology that collides in their life on a daily basis. You can live a life that's of your own making, and it's all online.
Yeah,
and
entirely false.
It's phony.
Yeah, entirely false. That's right. And here the system was used, gamed by this Mr. Singer, the guy who finally went state's evidence here, who went to parents and said, I'll do this. And, you know, what does parents say? This guy says, you know, we'll put your child's head on a water polo player, even though the child has never seen a pool or a water polo game, but that will get the child into Stanford. It's entirely cynical and very discouraging to a lot of folks. Yes, there will be more. Susan's right. There will be more. There will be more people involved, and I think we'll hear more about this. The other thing is, if I can just for a second, this plays into a deep worry the American people have, and I share that worry. You know, and we see it in politics. This was appealed to by Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders. You know, is the system rigged? Do you remember when Donald Trump said, is the system rigged? Bernie Sanders asked the same question. Turned out in his case it was right. And people believe that America is about equal opportunity, you know, no privilege. You get by on your hard work. Remember Bill Clinton, work hard and play by the rules. And this is a clear violation of the rules, and people are really mad about it, and I understand why.
Really mad about it, and you don't have to look far, you know, whether it's in your own neighborhood or at work and you're talking to somebody who sits by you work closely with. Parents are stressed to the nines when they've got kids that age or high school where they're trying to get them into these colleges, Bill. And it is a stressful situation on the parents. It's a stressful situation on the kids. And there are people who are working night and day to try to get their kids into these schools. Carol Roth penned a piece that published on FoxNews.com. College cheating scandal should make blue-collar families absolutely furious. Because this just made everybody realize that the system is rigged and can be rigged.
Can be rigged, and the obsession of parents. We live in a comfortable neighborhood in a D.C. suburb, and I remember hearing from a parent about a preschool. Well, it's a great preschool. This is for 4-year-olds because it feeds into this school, which feeds into this prep school, which feeds into Harvard. And so the pressure's on the 4-year-old. Parents need to step back a little bit on this and realize this is not all of life. But look, the game needs to be fair. The rules need to be observed. And I'm glad these people are going to face the law and justice. At least I hope they will.
Thank you, sir. Hope you come back, okay? Bill Bennett with us out of Washington today.
You betcha.
We'll hear you on radio.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
You bet.